ARS came to us and asked us, we've worked with them a number of years. We worked with them, I think, John, was it 2013 or 14?
Earlier, I think,
Yeah,
yep.
10 and, I think 8 through 10, we worked with them, and then they found another area in St. Lawrence County that they worked with, but they've come back to us. One thing we can sell them on, we know how to do it. We've been there before. We know how to load trucks. We know how to weigh them, and we know where to send them. And we've handled 4 or 5 salt companies over the years since I've been here, and we know how to do that. So we were able to. We wanted to make sure that we got some part of the salt market this year. So I think our pricing was good. It's not as lucrative as a ship just dropping everything at once. There's a lot more things involved, but actually we're more efficient using the people we do have that otherwise might be not fully busy during the day. You know, they might load grain and then be pro. So we're not adding a whole lot of inputs into removing or unloading that salt. So that's a plus for us. And then on your board packet, you'll see that we have another company that wants to bring in some salt that we're going to do some added work for that. You'll see on the activity log, really it was a slow month for grain, and we still have quite a bit of stockpile there. And then you'll see on the last sheet, it's just that's just recording that first day of salt there. But right now, I think we've got over 4,000 tons here, so that would be 40 rail cars we've unloaded. So at 45,000, you figure you're going to have 450, 460 cars. That'll help you on the rail business. Mm-hmm. Not a lot, but it does increase the traffic for the rail. And then the railroad has done a lot of improvements to the belt and spurs in the port right now. So that's upgraded that, so that's going to help. So, so looking forward into the fall, probably salt is going to be our main salt and grain, and then probably by the end of September we'll be done with the windmill project. With that, and like Patty said, we bill daily to Siemens Gamesa for that, but basically that's a 60-day accounts receivable, so that money's 2 months off, and we still have payrolls to make. The good thing when that money comes in, it's really reimbursable to us for everything that we put out there, and so far we've been able to handle it with our own money. Good. So that's where we are with that. So, any questions?
There you go. Building occupancy report and industrial commercial prospect report, John?
Yes, so with Commerce Park, we moved from 87% to 90% occupancy with the addition of A.N. Derringer in Building 4. And those numbers are going to drop a little bit next month because Corning will be leaving Building 1 at the end of September for bigger space at the port, and we had to close out with Veritas as well. We're 100% filled here in the Bridge Administration Building, the offices, and the port is about 29%. That'll go up to 39% next month with the addition of Corning taking more space, and the airport's about 77% occupancy. As far as marketing efforts, the contract's on there for Corning, about an extra $24,000 in revenue over 2 years. I've been working with a large dairy products company on a project where they're looking at Ogdensburg. It's very preliminary interest at this point in time. I did some outreach to my contacts in the wind turbine industry for upcoming projects, and I've laid the groundwork for some projects that are likely to happen in 2022 and 24. There's 3 of them all total. The project in the company prospect in Kingston that I was working with is likely going to use a private company in Commerce Park to do some manufacturing for them third-party contract manufacturer. That's the company that makes the components for the Humvees. So that's the best solution that they found. They are in the process of getting incorporated as well, and may want to do that themselves in the future, but right now we can't get over the bridge, essentially. So it's good for the other company over there, though. There's a variety of different companies I've contacted in my report. I'm still working with the lighting company out of Ottawa. I put them in touch with Clarkson and Trudeau Institute in Saranac Lake and another university. They're looking to get some funding and test the efficacy of the light as far as its ability to kill coronavirus. So that is moving forward.
Good.
I had worked on a potential surplus land sale in Potsdam, Madrid, but we've looked into the Public Authorities Accountability Act, and it's our attorney's opinion that we need an appraisal before we do that. So while we were going to go to public auction, the appraisal is still required. So that needs to be tabled today. There's a proposal on there to your agenda for marketing I'll talk about later, and a number of supplements also for your consideration.
Good, thank you. Any questions of John at this time? Not, there any unfinished business, Mr. Lawrence?
No.
Okay, let's move right into business items, general administration. Resolution A1. Approval of supplement number 2 with Cortec LLC.
John, you want to?
Yeah, that's Penske upstairs. They run a small office. I think it's about 200 and it's not big money, but it's good to have them here as a tenant. They do interview a lot of people, and they do have some customers in Commerce Park for filling positions. So that's a renewal, and I guess we did it for 3 years, so it's good to maintain them in the building.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I have a question. I think it probably applies to the next 3 bills, but I assume this is the same that they've been paying. It's not like an increase or decrease.
I generally do an increase. It depends on the customer though, but we try and generally get a 3% increase. So this one went 210 to 220. The next one is not an increase, and I think that was an effort to retain them. So yeah, but we do generally try and get an increase if we can.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? None? Anne Marie, call the roll, please.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Clausen?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Quirk Pittman?
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Ms. Terminelli?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Agenda item A2, approval of supplement number 3, Quality Hearing Instruments LLC. John, I assume that's you too?
Yep, that's basically Miracle Ear. They're in Building 1 over in Commerce Park. They rent 3 small offices totaling 424 square feet, and their agreement doesn't expire, but they were looking to wrap it up and secure the space, so we accommodated them and happy to retain them.
Good. Any questions of John? John, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Anne Marie, call the roll, please.
Mr. Clausen?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Quirk Pittman?
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Ms. Terminelli?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Agenda item A3, approval of supplemental lease agreement number 6 with Corning Incorporated. John, back to you, I take it?
Yep, that's a tenant that we've had for a while that I recruited. They rented some warehouse space over in Building 1, 3,000 square feet. Just they need more space from their warehouse over in Canton. They were looking for more space and talked to Steve, and we tried to accommodate them in Commerce Park, but It didn't work out, the door wasn't big enough, and a number of other issues. I've talked them into a much larger space at the port. And it's a 2-year agreement with some good additional revenue, about $24,000, I believe, over 2 years. They needed a larger overhead door. That's being installed by the staff. They're essentially paying for it. We're using some in-kind labor to frame it in and things like that, and do some improvements, deferred maintenance and that in the building.
I will add that the building 4, the board numbers, that's one of our most difficult to lease out. It's just, sometimes it just doesn't have a fit, but to have Corning in there, it's a good fit, so it was a good thing that, to bring them over to that building, that kind of, that'll take care of that building for a while anyway, but it's a good one to get.
Good, good. Nice job. Your motion,
So moved.
second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Anne Marie, call the roll, please.
Mr. Byrne?
Yes.
Ms. Cooke Pickman?
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. Manelli?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Cochran?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. A4, approval of broker online marketing. This was, I believe we all have the change, what was in the original packet. You
Yes.
know, mine came out shrunk for some reason, I don't know. Anne Marie did that on purpose. didn't she? John, this is yours too?
Yep. So we looked into expanding our marketing efforts. We were doing online marketing with an online marketplace called LoopNet and CoStar, and we were paying for that prior to our financial struggles, and we had stopped that. We did have a broker, Meyer Realty, that was marketing our sites that we had gone out with a request for a proposal, and they were the firm that was selected by the authority. So we reached out to them, and she has the ability to actually market multiple sites at no cost to us. So this is an option for your consideration to turn those listings over to Meyer Realty. They're listed there. I think they're a little bit different than what we talked about in the committee meeting. Because we didn't have an appraisal on the airport property, so we took that off. We did have one on the bridge approach parcel, so we added that. And then the other two are lease properties, building 1 and building 4, to get those online and out to the general public, basically. And in the resolution part is the terms and conditions. Building 1 would be $3 a square foot. There's about 20,000 square feet there after Corning moves out. We'd have to move some tenants around if someone wanted the whole space, but I think we're safe marketing the whole space. Over in building 4, where we closed out with Veritas, there's 5,000 square feet of space, and that's a little bit better than building 1, so we went with $4 a square feet. And the appraised value of the 11.75 acres for the bridge approach parcel is $140,000. There would be a cost with the brokerage commission. As far as leases, it'd be 10% for 1 year. That is a typical commission, with the exception of generally, if a broker gets someone for you on a rental property, that goes on as long as the contract goes on, but she's willing to only take 1 year. So that's pretty good arrangement. And then it's 8% for an outright one-time payment on actual sale. In addition, she would need to co-broke it, which opens it up to other realtors, whether they're from Messina, Waddington, Canton, Ogdensburg, and they have an ability to market it as well.
Frank, have you had a chance to look this resolution over?
What's that?
Have you had a chance to look this over?
Well, leasing is fine, because we get in all the time, and we do have an appraisal for the 11.25 acre parcel, so you're okay. what we got into, Steve and I got into, we got looking, you can't sell any real estate according to the state, the public authorities law, without having it appraised, which you usually spend money on, then you hold the property forever, but, you're better to have them appraised than put, if you wanna put them on the market. The other thing we have to consider is the white brush that was done when we, did our financing with Tompkins. They took a real large swath of security, so we'll have to, whatever we get to sell, we gotta make sure that we can get a release from Tompkins, that's all.
We ran into that with building 4.
Right.
There was that was put up as collateral as one of the loans for the airport. And we did have, well, this is just before COVID, but we had someone very interested in actually buying the building. But we get into an issue with appraised value versus what we really need. And basically, we'd be giving the building away. We'd have another client, but we wouldn't have any income or anything, and the building would be given away just to satisfy the loan. So basically, we'd be taking our share of the proceeds and giving it to the bank and getting that off the, I mean, yeah, you could look at it that way, but then we'd lose an income stream
Right.
and we're not, we may be helping it was a Commerce Park tenant, but if we don't have any access to any of that income in a meaningful way,
Right.
whether it's through the total sale, it becomes an issue. So to what Frank's point is, that anything going forward for a while, that's what we're gonna encounter.
The other thing you gotta worry about too, so we only have a numerical number of buildings, because we have sold off some over the years, since I've been here even. It's cut back on our ability to market. John's only got so many square feet he can market, and the buildings are in, I say reasonably good repair, and we do as much as we can with them. But if we had the money, we'd be building more buildings out there, because we need, the rental income, you can market it, you can get steady income on a regular basis. But,
So the percentages that are down here, are they pretty much, industry averages or something? I don't know.
Yes, they are, and they're also what she had proposed in the RFP when she answered it. so-
Okay,
Yeah, and it's actually one better because of only taking 1 year.
I see that one here, we appreciate that. Right, any other questions regarding this resolution? As,
Can I just make one comment?
absolutely,
Even though our financial condition is the way it is, I just feel that we just can't stay put and not address any of the things that we might normally do. So this one doesn't add a lot of expense, but even the smallest expense, Patty will even say can really influence us, but we still have to move forward. So that was kind of the reason why, we didn't just dive into that, but I wanted the board to know, John did all the work on this, but just to let you know everything and how it would work to our best advantage. But we just felt we couldn't stay and go, no, we're not gonna do anything until this is over with. We still have to move forward.
yeah,
So
good.
just.
Thank you. Okay? Anything? Not? Is there a motion?
Second,
Seconded? Tony, you second?
yes.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded, is there any further discussion? Anne Marie, call the roll, please.
Ms. Kirkpatrick?
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Ms. Terminelli?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Coffin?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, agenda item A5. Approval of disposition of surplus land, town of Potsdam.
Yeah, that's the one that needs to be tabled until the appraisal's done.
Okay,
But it would be good to get a sense from the board that that's the direction you'd like us to move in and have the appraisal done. And assume the appraisal will come in around the assessed value. But
there's another piece of property over by the railroad in Norwood.
Pardon me?
Is this another piece of property by our railroad over in Norwood?
It's in the town of Potsdam. It's close to the town of Madrid. It's on the,
Tony, you know what he's talking about?
This is the piece for the, that's, what, pasture or
Austin Ridge Road.
Dawson Ridge Road?
Yeah, it's the same one we talked
Kind of,
about.
yeah, if you're
You
going
you
from
know,
I do, yes.
Dave, you know too?
the Burns Corners over, and you wanna hit to Norwood, it's kind of a shortcut instead of the main county road to
So
Norwood.
what is it, land out of,
Yeah, it's,
well, we had a right of way or something at one time?
it's just adjacent to the airport, but it runs, it's a rectangular kind of chunk of land that goes kind of to the north, on the north side of the tracks, and it fronts on the highway.
Dawson Ridge Road, yeah.
Oh,
There's a big Amish farm, I'm assuming
Yes,
it's right next to
it was
that.
their request.
That was the note
Right,
they sent,
yeah.
right?
I'm sorry, I forgot that you weren't at the meeting, Sam. Yeah, so it's a triangular piece, it's on the Austin Ridge Road. It's bounded on the other side by the Amish family that asked if we could sell it or rent it to them. And then there's some frontage on the railroad. I talked to the railroad, they don't have a use for it.
wait, is it our railroad or CSX?
It's our road.
It's NYOG.
Okay.
And the land is covered in trees. There's a bit of a drop off the Austin Ridge Road.
So there's never any possibility of us having a need for it in the future?
I don't think so.
Okay, all right. I'm
It's
good.
really way out of where we do all of our development, really.
Okay.
It's out in the middle of no place.
But
Good.
Dave, you might throw in, how you see land values and how that relates to, when we talk to the finance committee.
Well, hunting land is worth, probably maybe more, sometimes more than tillable land, so, the land's, I don't know, 1,000 to, it depends on how well it's drained, without knowing.
Yeah,
1,000 to 2,000 an
I
acre.
guess what I'm saying is that when I look at it, I had a lesser value in my head than when Dave explained to me hunting land and tillable land and everything like that. I just wanted to,
But it needs,
one.
it needs to be, assessed, right, or?
appraised.
It needs to be appraised, so-
Appraised,
Yeah, that would cost $2,000 to $3,000
of
for
course.
it.
I don't think you have to go that route.
Oh,
You can get, Mike Barley's very good, but you're talking about a commercial appraisal. I think you could go to a regular New York State licensed appraiser who knows real estate. This is not quality farmland, it's not all quality building property. I think John and I talked, there were some wetlands there that you aren't gonna do anything with. I think you might find that what Dave is saying, it might appraise out to about $1,000 an acre for the good stuff, $400 an acre for the bad stuff, but I don't think you gotta spend $3,000 on it.
okay.
Sounds
Is there
good.
much wood on it?
Not big trees, but it's mostly scrub trees like cedars and things that, there might be a little bit of value. If I remember right,
I have a question. Based on the letter, it says that it assessed for 48,000 about, but it also says it seems high, and a recommended starting point you said would be half, but then the resolution still lists the 48,000. Is there a reason there's a discrepancy?
Yeah, from the committee meeting, I
Okay.
got the general sense they wanted to go with the actual assessed value. My thinking was you're going to a public auction, it would get bid up if there's interest,
Mhm.
but in the end, we need an appraisal, and that's your minimum bid, whatever, someone puts a number on it. And I assume it would be close to the assessed value.
Okay.
Okay, so is there a motion to table?
I'll make that motion.
Made, second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to table. Anne Marie, call the roll, please.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. Manelli?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Coffin?
Yes.
Mr. Byrne?
Yes,
Ms. Quick Pickett?
Yes.
Motion carried.
motion has been tabled.
Table, sorry.
Okay. That's a nice note right there, too. Trying to figure out what that was up there. I couldn't see that, John, I looked at that drawing in there, that Google map or whatever it was, I couldn't tell anything.
I'll get a better image off the.
Well, I'm satisfied that Tony and Dave are familiar with it, so I'm good, thank you. Agenda item A6, approval of T hanger lease. Stephanie, you did this?
Yes, Mr. Proven and Mr. Agardis are wishing to renew their current leases for T-hangers. It's at the same price as last year. And continue on.
Seems fair at this point.
Mhm.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? None, Anne Marie, call the roll, please.
Mr. Maloney?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Clausen?
Yes.
Mr. Thorne?
Yes.
Ms. Crispin?
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Agenda item A7, approval of storage and handling agreement with Compass Minerals America. Whoever,
Compass Minerals is, asked that, and they asked us last year for pricing to, handle, their regular bulk salt, and then we mix it with they mix it with a, liquid that lowers the, melting point, and they can use more of it, or they can use less salt. And really it's, a really for like Franklin County and the Adirondacks, they can use less salt. And it's more environmentally friendly. The material or the mixing liquid is environmentally friendly and better for the environment. So they're seeing quite a demand for that, and there's a contract that they won for Franklin County, and they used to handle it from across the way in Morrisburg. And now, last year we lost out, or they had our pricing, but they decided to just go out of Morrisburg. But this year, they're very interested in coming here, and we've offered them one of our buildings, the large building that you saw at the port. We will give that up for storage for 5 months, and the big advantage is we make very good money when a ship just drops 20,000 or 25,000 with salt. If the price you've got there is really slimmed down to mix that, it's we're not making an awful lot on that, but to get them to bring in a ship of salt is a big money maker for us. So on another contract, that's separate, they dropped the salt, and this year, I don't know if I told you, but we're, the top of building P2, let's see, right, you see number 2 up there? That has hatches in there, and we're gonna attempt to put a third of that salt in the hatches down into the building so that we don't have to load that in there, it's already in there, so that would be some savings, but we think it's something we're gonna try this year. It hasn't been done the years I've been here, and everybody's talked about it, but we figured,
way back, I think we had it
Yeah.
first built. You know,
it's,
not
I
like
don't
seen
think,
it.
from talking to anybody, I don't think it's ever been done, but we're just gonna give it a try. And, if we can do that, it'll be a real, time saver and less things we gotta move. So what we would do is, you'd have maybe 7,500 tons in the building. They bring in a machine for 3 or 4 days. You process all of that salt to the other side of the building. It's got a kind of a, I believe this is a red liquid, so it's kind of a pinkish salt. And we do all the processing with the loaders, and they'd have a technician there that would dose the salt in a recommended way, and then we stockpile it. And then what I'm told is generally municipalities ask for it before snowstorms. So what they're saying is they get a huge demand the week before bad weather or whatever, and it all goes out. Then they'll come back in and we'll do 7,500 tons more. And they'll take that building P2 for probably 5 months at, I don't know, I think we talked about 20 cents a square foot. So there's some income there, but the actual part that we're doing isn't a huge money maker, but it is new business, that part of it. So we will share, just so you'll know, we have a sharing agreement with new business. We don't share in the salt being dumped on the dock, but because this is new business, it'll be shared with OMLC on that part. So it's not a huge income for us, but it's good that we're generating income for the salt. So that's the background on that. Any questions on that?
No?
Is that Is that Morton on the dock, at the end of the dock, Steve? or-
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay, so they're trucking this in?
Morton didn't, a lot of that's just left over from last year.
No, the NAC,
Hmm?
how they getting, how's,
Well, I'll put it in between 2 and 6.
no, is it coming in by rail, truck, boat? I missed that part.
The compass salt
Yeah,
by boat.
oh,
It'll
okay.
come in on our original contract.
Okay.
They'll bring in 20 or 25,000, and then we'll put, we're gonna try to put a third of it in the building. So we don't have to unload on the end where Morton is right now. The salt pile you see out there is Morton salt that really wasn't claimed from last year.
Was that 30,000 tons?
No, it's only about a little under 10,000,
Oh, it's under 10.
but they pay storage, so there's still income coming in from that. They wanna, I'm sure they wanna sell that to get it off the dock.
Right, absolutely. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Move, seconded?
Second?
Move and seconded. Any discussion? There's a pause in a second, maybe there's discussion. No discussion? Anne Marie, call the roll, please.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Clausen?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Crookston?
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Ms. Terminelli?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. I don't know. Is that all I got?
Would there be other such matters from the previous matter,
What other such matters do we have?
from Frank?
The deed,
Oh, yes,
you want me to read it,
if you would, please?
just in case she can't read my handwriting? The authority board, in order to correct an issue created by a boundary line agreement recorded in the St. Lawrence County Clerk's Office on February 16, 2007, at instrument number 2007-2450, between the authority and Ernest McGregor, period. The boundary line agreement ran from the authority's railroad bed to New York State Route 56 in a straight line. This boundary line agreement was established for the sole purpose of identifying the place in the authority's railroad bed to be the starting point for the transfer of 3,400 linear feet of railroad bed to Ernest McGregor. The boundary line caused an issue regarding the property of Nicholas Barney and Alana Mason, and that's spelled A-Y-A-N-N-A, which appears to cut through their property, leaving a .23 acre parcel in question. The authority does not own any property where the 2.3 acres is located, and it should execute a quitclaim deed to correct this issue. Resolved, the board authorizes the chairman to execute the necessary real estate documents to transfer the property to the landowner. That's it.
Okay, everybody clear on that?
Mhm.
Is there a motion to accept the resolution?
I'll make that motion.
Motion been made, second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Not, Anne Marie, call the roll, please.
Mr. Clausen?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Crookston?
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Ms. Terminelli?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Anything else?
Set the next meeting date and time.
It's tentatively proposed October the 8th at 3:30, but I understand 4 o'clock would be easier for,
Yes,
okay,
please.
let's do 4. Now, is October the 8th okay? Okay, you gonna be in town?
Yeah, I already got it. I'm good.
Yes, you good?
I'm good.
Nicole?
Yep,
Tony?
absolutely.
Ken?
Yes.
Wow,
Sam, that's a first.
I think so.
First.
Oh, wait a minute, we didn't hear from Megan. Have to check with Megan.
I'll vote for her first.
Okay, there you go.
Check your calendar.
I mean, unanimous.
Check your court schedule. All right, let's just do that one. Anything else? Is there a need for another executive session,
Yes,
Mr. Lawrence?
for a short executive session, and then I need time for that, but it would be for matters relating to section 105H of the open meetings law. And I would anticipate there's no action or formal vote will be taken.
Okay, no board action after the executive session, in
No,
your opinion?
no, just some property discussion with Frank.
Okay, is there a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor of entering into executive session, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We are in executive session. It is, what, 7 minutes to 6?
I'll vote 5 minutes.
Excuse me, so for a second.